hentai, the adult media for anime fans that would rather fist fight their meat to 2D anime women instead of the typical things other non-anime fans would use to box out their meat in the octagon. And as a young preteen, I guess, I was an avid consumer of the media. So much so that I had the great idea to make it easier for me to get caught with hentai by my grandma and my cousin. Let's begin the story. So this story takes place when I was about 11 years old, and I have been into anime ever since I was a young kid. Like, ever since I saw my first episode of Naruto at my friend's house for a sleepover, I knew anime was for me. I thought that shit was amazing. Hell, I still think anime is amazing after years and years of watching it, playing it, buying the merch, going to cons. Just, dude, I love anime. Period. So one day I'm watching Naruto and he does his sexy jutsu, and I had seen the jutsu before. I always got a good laugh at it because it's like, oh, look at these guys get going all the way across the stratosphere with their nosebleed. But one day I was just kind of like, huh, I wonder if there's anime adult websites. Now I waited till the next day to conduct my research, because the computer that we had in the house sat in my grandma's room. And so I thought to myself, okay, when I get home from school, it'll be 2 p.m. I'll have 3 hours to do my research, slay the dragon, and then hide it all before she gets home, and no one would be the wiser. A complete recipe for success. So I get home from school, I boot up the computer, and I'm sitting on Google and I'm like, what do I even search it? So I just kind of go simple and just am like, anime titties, please. Bro. Not only did I find anime titties, I found a dedicated website to it and am just absolutely overwhelmed with all the fucking, the anime going on this. So after 2 hours, I get off. I'm sorry, but I get off the computer. I go back to my room to do homework before my grandma gets home. And so later that night, I'm in bed thinking like, man, how can I look at that right now? And again, like, the computer's in my grandma's room, so I can't necessarily go into my grandma's room and like start hopping on and then just, you know. But then I had a good idea. I use good with air quotes, not gonna lie. Well, we have a printer. If I can just print things off that I would want to look at all the time, hide it under my dresser in my room, we're good. I can just look at it all the time. And it's not the greatest plan, as you see. That's why I put good in air quotes. But I was 11, bro. Like, I'm not exactly hatching 5-point plans of how to get shit done. Anyways, the next day rolls around and same deal. Lock the front door, close the room door, proceed to browse the site to pick what I want, and I hit print, and nothing. Try it again. Nothing happens. I tried this several more times to absolute no success, and eventually I just give up on the idea and I go back to my room to play some Naruto Clash of Ninjas. So later that night, my cousin just stops by to print out his resume, and I'd already forgotten what I was trying to do earlier, and I didn't tell him that the printer wasn't working. Well, that didn't fucking matter, because after a few minutes go by, I hear the printer and then about 10 more minutes go by, and I hear, "Sean, get in here." So I go into the room, I ask what's up, and that's when I see it. Nani? In my grandmother's hands was a picture of the hentai I tried to print off. So I am standing there in my head thinking, what happened? I am sweating, I am hot, and I am clearly disturbed by what she has in her hand. My grandma looks at me then and asks, you know, "Sean, what is this?" And honestly, I was gonna tell her the truth about what it was, but then I look at the picture, and the picture actually really sucked. So the head of the picture came out perfectly fine, but then as you looked down and kept looking down the photo, it kept getting blurrier until eventually half the paper just a blank page. And upon seeing this, I'm like, oh, I could totally lie my way out of this. And so I look my grandmother dead in the eye and I tell her, I don't know what that is. Maybe the printer has a virus. My grandmother then reacts as, a virus? And then she begins to rant about how much this new technology just sucks and how annoying it is, and then demands that I fix it because she's certain that I'm the reason it has a virus in the first place. And I'm just like, cool, yeah, I'll totally fix it. I get on the computer to quote unquote fix it. The work is done. I won. And I just turn off the printer again. I go into the control panel to make sure there's no more print jobs, and there wasn't. It was all clear after that 203rd page. But I just take the empty papers and put them back, and I tell my grandma, all right, it's fixed. It won't be printing anymore. I turn it back on. It doesn't print anything. And she gives me a hug and tells me good job for getting rid of the virus, and I go back to my room. And yeah, that's how I got caught with hentai, but I got to lie my way out of it. So um usually these stories have like a moral. The moral here, don't fucking print off your hentai at home. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next video, and I hope you have a great time zone. Peace.